check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Today I have come to the Geely dealership here in Zhongshan. There's a bunch of them. This one is in Dongshen. This is Zhongshan, and I'm really excited to go into this dealership and take a look at some of the Geely products. They got 11 different models in here, and some of them are really, really interesting. Of course, Geely, we know 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, they bought Volvo, and since that purchase, they have really come up in quality. It's a real up and coming. It's one of the largest Chinese auto manufacturers now, and they continue to grow. Most recently, they've launched Lynk & Co., which is another brand that is kind of cousins to Geely as far as the underpinnings and stuff, and I can't wait to show you those videos in the future. This dealership is located right on Highway 105, which is one of the main arteries that go through Zhongshan. You can tell it's very, very loud here. Dongshen itself is a kind of a manufacturing factory area of Zhongshan, so there's a lot of truck traffic and a lot of factories here. It's a loud town, but being on 105 and at the crossroads of a major expressway and at the crossroads of the high-speed rail, this is very, very easy to see and find in Zhongshan. Anyways, let's go inside and take a look at what they got. Already I can tell this is a big showroom, guys. There's a lot of different cars in here. We'll start with the MPV. This is a smart looking car, man. It's an MPV, so it's kind of halfway between a minivan and a station wagon. But it looks really good. This has 3-row seating and everything. Check this out. It's big. Look at this. I love these windows here. These forward windows on the A-pillar. Love that. Look at these wheels. I love that they're color matched the car. That's really sharp looking. What a good looking car. Running boards. I mean, this is not off-road. This is a city one, but these are very... I see these a lot on cars in China. Let's take a look inside. I'm actually going to do a full-length video on the MPV, so stay tuned for that when it's coming out soon. Let's start with this X3 here. This is an older model. I see these a lot. They're not expensive, and on the used market, they're pretty cheap. I almost bought one. They're kind of funky looking with this giant nose in the front and a very, very small part in the back, but there's something about them that I like. I really do. As you can see, the price. These are not expensive cars, and I know you can get them really cheap on the used market. And it being a small, cheaper car, you know, you can expect the quality of the fit and finish to be just a little bit on the lower end, but still well designed interior. Look at this. So this is kind of the older style Geelys. This is an old model, but nice steering wheel. Still very nicely designed. The interior looks better than the exterior in my opinion. But again, a funky car on the exterior. And that's ultimately why I chose not to. It's also very small in here. I went with a Haval, but for the price I paid for that Haval, I could have got a really nice one of these. Fairly new. And you can get them with a stick shift. Look at this piece here, this A-pillar. This is really funky. Think how this swoops down like that. That's very, very strange. You can see here, it's, you know, you can fit 4 adults in here, but the boot space in the back is going to be pretty tiny. That's not too bad, I guess. Just a strange looking car. Ultimately, I'm very happy I didn't buy it. This is the Geely GE. And a lot of people say, what if a Chinese manufacturer made a Toyota Camry? And that's what you got here. This is a very good size Very handsome looking too, actually. I love this front grille. It departure, it doesn't have the little ripple water effect grille. That's just straight, not like this one where you can see it's one after another. Well, I guess it's still there. It's still there here on the edges, but definitely a grille. Let's get in this one. This one. Well, I have to say it's very inviting. This dash just looks enormous in here. Okay, very comfortable seats. Yeah, it feels about the size of a Camry or an Accord in here. Everything seems to be screwed in pretty nicely. Yeah, I'm not sure about these graphic designs here on the dash either. That looks a little bit, to me, I don't know, millennial. I love that the parking is right there. But, you know, if you're like me and you rest your hand here often as you drive, right, your thumb can accidentally hit it and park as you're on your way. Ultimately, not a bad looking car. I mean, it feels pretty upscale, actually. All right, next is Geely's big SUV. I've seen these in the malls recently. They've kind of got this this design element here where you got two separate sets of lights. The hood has an interesting seam. I kind of like it. Look at the roof rack on this right here. I love that it's a roof rack, but it's not like blended into the roof. You actually you can fit your hand through here. It just looks a lot more rugged. And then this element here where it kind of pops out like that. I like to see that on more SUVs. Yeah, this is a 3-row seat. I mean, this is big. This is really big. A 3rd row back there. This is nice, guys. Cabin definitely looks a lot more rugged, almost like an off-roader style to it. I feel it's a lot more rugged in here than, say, the BJ40, which kind of has a softer interior feel. This has got a rugged look, but a plush feel in here. It's really, really nice. Lots of charging ports in here. Again, it's really big. It's almost like a station wagon or an MPV. There's a dash here. Got a lot of spaces for dust to get to. You're gonna have to clean that. Nice little shelf right here. Kind of like this element. This is nice. Again, all the switch gear feels pretty good. Drive mode. Let's talk about the Icon. This is an interesting looking vehicle, but it's, look at Miss Icon because it's pink. But these start at about 100,000, go to about 130,000. The thing about these, though, it looks like an electric vehicle, but it's not. This is a gas vehicle, and I love that. I love that it has all the looks of a modern electric, car, but has the gas engine, which I still would prefer. Of course, the main headlights here with the running lights here. That look is becoming a very popular trend. I'm not so sure about this though. This little piece right here, I'm not so sure about that. That's kind of funky looking. But it's squared off. It's not like the other Geelys. This has a lot of angles, sharp angles to it. Oh, that's an interesting. So it's pink on the outside. Look at this color difference here. Wow, that's strange. And even in here, I actually really like the interior. And I know that, see, it's changing color. So right now it's blue, look, now it changed color again. Wow. So it's like a nightclub in here. Look at this. Very, very strange. I like it though, I really like it a lot. This has a very, very high lift area. For such a small vehicle, you expect it to be lower, but it's really high. But lots of storage underneath. I have to applaud Geely for coming up with something different and interesting. Yeah, it looks very, very small. Let's see if I fit in this thing, in this back. I love the seats. The color of the seats is great. The interior is awesome. This looks really, really cool. Look at the color. Everything lights up differently. It is like a nightclub in here. But great design. Look at this piece right here. This one kind of wrapping up and over the dash. That's great. Great steering wheel. This is really cool. Oh, right up. Big grab handle here like an off-roader. But I love the lighting elements in this. So it's not a big car. It's really, really tiny. But I love the boxy feel to it. Even though it's pink and it's meant for women, this particular model, I really feel this is a masculine vehicle all around. It just needs some bigger tires, maybe a lift kit. Giant sunroof. This is really cool. And it's not an electric vehicle. This is a gas vehicle. Some of Geely's more affordable and smaller cars. A mid-size, compact. These are much older models. I see a lot of these as like DD cars. You can see price-wise, these are not expensive. These are pretty cheap. A couple other SUVs here. You got an X6. I mean, I like the vehicle. I'm just not sold on this part right here. I mean, on this one here, this is a little bit smaller one. You can see it's still got it, but it's not as pronounced as it is on this one. I love the two-tone interior. Very small, sporty steering wheel. It definitely feels very solid in here. I like the brushed aluminum on the dash. Yeah, it's big. I think it's just maybe a generation old. So the exterior of this one, it's an older style, but I love the interior. Check this out. Now that is a nice SUV interior. I don't know why, but this one catches my eye quite a bit. Feel very comfortable in this one. The seats are great. They're heavily bolstered. You know, everything is, the ergonomics of the dash and everything is just really, really close. This one calls to me. The interior does. The exterior looks a little boring, but the GS's model has been around. It's just a small little car. It's rides a little bit higher. It's almost like a little mini crossover. But I like the lines. I really do. I almost bought one of these when I was looking for my car. The price was just a little bit higher for what I was getting, but everyone I know who has one of these really, really likes it. And again, I was this close to buying one. And you can see the boot is rather small, and for all the gear that I tend to carry with me sometimes, it just wasn't quite big enough. For this dealership, there are many other dealerships and a lot of other cars that I want to check out, but you get the idea, you really do. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to test drive this MPV because I think it's a very unique model. So we're going to come back and do that in a couple of days. Stay tuned for that.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.